Welcome to the Football Show. The main headlines, of course, Peter Houston has been sacked at Falkirk. Ross County have parted company with Jim McIntyre as well. Gordon Strachan has named his squad for the crucial matches against Slovakia and Slovenia. And as ever, on the Monday, we'll look back over all the results in the Premiership, Championship, League One and League Two as well. So let's start with the news of the sackings. First of all, Ross County have parted company with Jim McIntyre. Does that come as a shock to you, Ruffy?
Yeah, it comes as a shock. I think we all know the good work that Jim McIntyre has been doing up there at Ross County, behind the scenes and on the park. The success he's had since he's been in there as a manager, for me, it doesn't justify the reaction of taking a quick, near-jerk reaction to that.
Easy for you to say.
Yes, it is. But and I'm absolutely gobsmacked for him and Billy Dodds, because I think at the end of the day, they would have managed to take Ross County out of the position they're in. Well,
I'm gobsmacked as well, because one win in their opening 7 games, OK, it's not good, but are they expected to beat Aberdeen, Motherwell, Hibs and Rangers? You know, is that what the board's looking at? You should be beating those teams?
Yeah, I can't believe the board's decision, because, OK, I would agree with them if there was a gap between them and the 5 teams above them, but that gap isn't there. It hasn't materialised yet. So I definitely think that I'd love the owner to come out and give us the explanation of why they came to that decision, because, as I said, I think Jim McIntyre's done a great job up there.
Well, he has. I mean, Ross County won the League Cup 2016. It'll be a long time before Ross County get their hands on major domestic silverware again. You know, Jim McIntyre will go down in history as, as one of the most famous managers at the club, surely.
Yeah, and the other thing about it as well, it's a strange decision for me, because this particular owner, who we know is very supportive of the club, if he usually thinks a manager is things aren't going well, he helps him, you know, by bringing in certain players. You know, it's a new sort of a view that he must be taking for the whole of the Ross County Football Club, but I think he really needs to come out and explain his decision. I'm sure he will do, because he's quite a decent guy.
Yeah, OK. We'll hear from Gordon Strachan, the Scotland manager, in a moment. But what about that other sacking? Peter Houston sacked. I mean, this one, again, 3 draws, 4 losses for a man that has taken Falkirk to the Scottish Cup final in 2015. 2 second-place finishes in the Championship. Now, listen, when you consider their budget, they finished behind Hibs and Rangers. What do the Falkirk board want?
Yeah, I think it comes into the same category as Jim McIntyre. I think the success that Peter Houston's brought to Falkirk Football Club throughout the years has been his downfall, because obviously the directors think they should be in the top 4 for most of the season. They obviously think they should be promoted as well. That doesn't look as if that's going to happen this year, but surely there must be a time when you say to yourself, look at the service that this guy's done to the club, let's just hang on in there for another couple of months and see if we can turn it around.
Yep, you can give us your thoughts at plzsoccer.com on Twitter and facebook.com/plzsoccer. Give us your thoughts on the sacking and who you think should be replacing these 2 managers. I imagine the usual suspects, the Paul Hartleys, the Stephen Presley, the Owen Coyles, will all be quoted, Ruffy.
Yeah, I think they will. You know, and it'll depend on, for me, which of these managers think they need to get back into the game. I know Ross County isn't a massively big club, so it's up to the managers where they believe they think they can get a bigger club than Ross County. I think the managers who don't think that way will jump at the chance.
OK, from manager sacked to a manager who is keen to stay in the job for as long as possible. I'm talking about the international boss, Gordon Strachan. He's named his squad, Ruffy, for Slovakia and Slovenia as well. 2 crucial games, got to get 6 points, got to have destiny in our own hands for the playoff. What do you make of the squad?
Yeah, I think it's just about the squad that he's had the last time. He's introduced, obviously, some of the younger players. I think Ryan Fraser getting in there, you know, he'll be trying to push into the team. Liam Cooper, for me, is a big one. You know, we've always been saying, where are the centre-halves? He's a centre-half who's playing in a reasonable division. He's playing particularly well. His team's playing well, and we know that Gordon likes to pick players who are full of confidence, and he comes into that category.
Yeah, you mentioned Liam Cooper captaining Leeds United. This is what the Scotland manager had to say about his inclusion.
He's playing well. He's playing in a winning side, and he's a big influence on the side. He's a captain now, and that's big progress for Leeds, which is good. And himself, probably should have had him in the last squad, to be honest with you. But I made sure I didn't make the same mistake again.
Just got to gauge your confidence, Ruffy. I know you swing one way then the other. I'm never quite sure what your opinion is at times on the international manager and the country. Are we getting 6 points from these two?
Yeah, I hope we do. I think the manager and the players and the supporters deserve to go to a big tournament. As we all know, I've been to 3. So, you know, this is a big game. This is a nail-biter. This for me is going to be one of the most tense 90 minutes we've had for a long time. This is a must-win game. We know this is a quality team coming here. We saw it against England. We need to beat them. Forget about the second game. This is the big one for me.
Yeah, can I ask you something, Ruffy? And this is just a personal thing, but obviously for travel arrangement purposes. If we get to the playoff and should win the playoff as well, Russia is a cold place, and of course there's still the Kremlin. There's still the secret services there. Would you expect to go to the World Cup with us? I mean. Yeah,
I would expect so. You know, obviously the hotels over there are fantastic. I would expect to be in at least a 5-star hotel for the duration that we're there.
Good luck finding one. Anyway, apart from anything else, let's hope we get the 6 points for that. Let's switch our attention now to a classic game, 12 noon. Everybody tipping Celtic to win it. Some people actually, suggesting Rangers could have won it. I've got to be fair. I noticed a couple of pundits who suggested that Rangers could edge it, but not on our programme, Ruffy. Quite simply, the odds were stacked against Rangers for this one. And in the end, Celtic predictably came out on top by 2-0.
Yeah, I think Celtic started the game the right way. They went at Rangers in the first 10 minutes. I think they had 2 or 3 chances. They should have scored at least one of them. After that, obviously, Rangers being the home team came into the game a wee bit. But for me, Celtic had all the possession. You know, they controlled the pace of the game. Rangers are hanging on to the penalty claim and the Morales header. You know, if you put somebody for Celtic up there, they would talk about the chance for Roberts, the chance for Armstrong, the chance. So Celtic, for me, had more chances and they controlled the game. Yeah, I can see where some Rangers supporters might come from. If Morales had scored the goal at 1 each, who knows, you know. But in the light of the 90 minutes, I think everybody would agree that Celtic were the better team on the day.
Yeah, do you think he's closed the gap?
He's closed the gap in the scoreline, but as far as controlling of the play, this was Celtic playing away from home, having 65% of the play, most of the chances. So for me, Rangers have still got a long way to go to close that gap.
Yeah, Brendan Rodgers suggested he was surprised that there was a spat between Pedro Caixinha and the Celtic captain Scott Brown. This was over the elbow on Morelos. The SFA are not going to take any action. I think it was much ado about nothing.
It wasn't an elbow, you know. It was an arm up and
backing in.
Backing in. I said it in the weekend. I don't think Scott Brown had to resort to backing in. The ball was nowhere near him, you know, and he's put his arm up. Yeah, it's a thing you do in football, but it's something Scott could take out of his game, and I think we would respect him for the player that he is. He's controlling games, which I never thought we would see, but now he's matured. Brendan Rodgers is now making him a playmaker who's pulling the strings, and he did it well. There was no need for him to get involved in that kind of spat.
Here's what the Celtic manager made of the game.
Yeah, very pleased. I thought defensively we were outstanding today in terms of our pressing and denying them the opportunity to play. First and foremost, that's what you have to do. What they are, a team that gets it wide and gets crosses in the box, and we'd one scare, I think, in the first half where they broke away and the boy Morelos nearly gets in at the back post. But apart from that, defensively we were great in those moments, either Craigie coming to catch it, or the centre halves and midfield players dropping in to defend it. So that element of our game, firstly, in games like this here, you have to defend well and you have to be a good organisation. Then with the ball, I thought we started very well. We just in our final third of the pitch didn't quite make the last pass, which could have got us in front earlier. But then walked away through into the game, and then second half I thought really our conditioning, the quality of our players came through, and once they got the first goal, we're probably not disappointed that we could have had more goals, but we had more chances to score. So yeah, no, a very, very good performance. Coming to here, it was a great atmosphere at the game today, and our boys coped with it very, very well.
Just a quick word, Ruffy, on Lee Griffiths. 67 goals in 100 appearances for Celtic. That's some going.
Yeah, it certainly is. Then you can see he's now turned into a typical striker who loves scoring goals, particularly big goals, and he's now got the ability to go into these games and score the goal that wins you games. And you can see just by looking at him, I always quote back to Kenny Dalglish, if you get a chance to see Kenny Dalglish scoring goals, he just loves the ball hitting the back of the net, and I think Leigh Griffiths is coming into that category.
Yeah, the only difference is Kenny Dalglish wouldn't run towards the opposition fans and start celebrating. He's a brave man to do that, maybe a little bit foolhardy on that point. But as far as Rangers are concerned, they're now 8 points behind Celtic. Here's Pedro Caixinha's take on the game.
I think that one, the team that commit less mistakes, and I consider that we commit 2 mistakes that lead to the final result. I mean, that was the way in the moments they scored the goals. I think they get better than us on the game, definitely. They start to impose their game. We cope with it along 10, 15 minutes, and after I think we balanced the game. And we balanced the game and we took the game the way or on the direction we wanted, or at least we prepared it. So the first half, I'd say from minute 20 until the end was balanced, and we could assist about a good football match. There are 2 moments that are really crucial on the game. The first one is the way you concede the first goal. I think you had at least 2 or 3 chances to clear the ball from there, and you didn't. So second ball is present. And the second moment that for me is really the moment of the game is when we had the equalizer by Morelos and we could not do it. So those moments mark the game after they score the second, and after they score the second with the quality, of course, that they have. They could manage the game, they could feel much more comfortable, and that's the history of the game.
Let's be honest about it, Ruffy. Ross McCrory was a positive in the match, a young boy, not only making his first start, but in an Old Firm game is remarkable, to say the least. But Carlos Pena is just a huge disappointment.
Yeah, I have to say, Peter, I don't know what his role was at the weekend. Supposed to be looked as if supporting the centre forward, and in the area where Scott Brown was denying him the space. He did neither, and he was just lost for the whole game for me, and I'm surprised he lasted so long. You know, I thought when you saw when Kenny Miller came on, he had more energy about the park. You know, he knew what was happening round about the park. And for me, I think he needs a lot of explaining how he identified this boy as a £2.5 million player.
Yep, gobsmacked by it. OK, just a quick look over some of the other Premiership results. Aberdeen got a bit of revenge, Ruffy. 1-0 against Motherwell.
Yeah, I'm sure Derek had the players wound up. It was a disappointing midweek result for them. They went there, they were tighter at the back. Obviously, the goalkeeper played a lot better than what he did in midweek. He had a couple of good saves early on. But then a bit of magic for the boy Christie. And then they got a lucky break off the post. But I think Aberdeen, on the whole, got away with the 3 points quite comfortably. And
I'm going to be as positive as I can every week about St Johnstone, because they are still up there in the mix. Good win over Hamilton, albeit there was a fantastic goal from Greg Docherty. Yeah,
it certainly was. Young boys now, you know, scoring goals for fun, and it was another fantastic strike coming in, cutting in, and a right foot shot, and unstoppable, you know, from a tight angle. But after that, you know, obviously we know St Johnstone don't give in these games very easily, and they got the goal. The goalkeeper had a good save, but Steve McLean reacted quicker than everybody else, and in the end, everybody keeps talking about Rangers catching Aberdeen. I think St Johnstone will be in that top 4 for a long time. OK then,
what about your old team Hibernian? Good goal by Paul Hanlon to get them off and running. Not much happening after that. Jim McIntyre gets sacked after the game. But as far as Hibs are concerned, Ruffy, it's an emotional time for Neil Lennon. Next weekend, he'll be going back to Celtic Park, this time in the opposition dugout. But do you feel as if they're just starting to get it together again?
I think they needed the win. You know, I don't think the performance was particularly good, but they had most of the chances. Stokes and Fox had a sort of a battle between them, and obviously they won the game. But I think that's what Neil's looking for. He was looking for the defence to be tighter. In the last 2 games, they'd lost 2 goals in each of them. So coming away, not losing a goal will be good going on to the Celtic game. But if they can do it at Parkhead, then he's got to start believing that they can go places.
Yep, 2 matches to finish then. Partick Thistle, as ever, you're one of those old Jags legends who never feels comfortable when they're a goal up. They did indeed take the lead in the match, but Ross Callaghan pegged them back for Hearts.
Certainly did. We already had the discussion about was the ball over the line or not. I thought it was a very, very difficult decision for the referee to judge. I think he went by where the centre-half was in the net, you know, rather than where the head-on ball was. So he's made the decision. I don't agree with it, but Alan Archibald is getting a wee bit titchy about, you know, goals in the last 10 minutes. Before it was, look, we need to be a wee bit more experienced, and now I think he's getting seriously miffed by the whole situation, and the defence really need to tighten up and give everybody else a bit of a break.
OK, finally, Kilmarnock against Dundee. I think they needed a draw like a hole in the head.
Yeah, they certainly needed a win. We've always said that Lee McCulloch will be judged in his home games. The supporters will judge him in the home games. That's the games you need to win. I think he thought he was maybe going to get it. But again, sort of unfortunately, Chris Boyd come in at the back post. You know, it looked as if he was just going to side foot the ball into the net, but it missed the target completely. So point had to settle with. OK, here's the Premiership results from the weekend. Confirmation of Celtic's win over Rangers. Kilmarnock and Dundee still in an area of the table they don't want to be in at the bottom end. Hibernian certainly will have aspirations to be in the mix. Neil Lennon clearly thinks they should be second or third based on their performances. Tommy Wright just continues on his way with that good win over Hamilton. And there, yesterday's confirmation of Aberdeen just edging it with that Andrew Considine winner. There's the table. Celtic at the top, Aberdeen tucked in nicely behind them. And then it's St Johnstone, Hibs, then Rangers in 5th position. But at the bottom end, you can pick any one of 5, possibly 6, who will be making sure they try and get away from the playoff or the relegation point. You can give us your view on that at PLZ Soccer on Twitter and facebook.com/PLZ Soccer. Don't forget to download the app as well for all the latest news north and south of the border too. From Ruffy and myself, thanks for watching.